Don't play with Joseph. What is up, ETHPJ here? I hope you guys are doing well. We have some news for deck building set Phantom Revenge, the next deck building set for the TCG OCG. And the TCG just made an announcement a few days ago that it will be receiving Phantom's Revenge in December, sometime the early week of December. So if you are planning on building one of the three archetypes that will be represented in this deck building set, I would definitely stay tuned to further content from me because I will be talking about them. Now, we've already got the first English translated name for the first of the archetypes, and that is the Hecantry. They are now going to call them in the OCG the Hecka Hands, as a way to pay homage to what their history is, in which they are the hands of God, according to Greek mythos. So that's actually pretty cool. Now, I know some TCG players are not going to like the name change, which, I mean, to be fair, it could be as bad as what they did to the Abyssal and turn them into the, God forbid, whatever name that was that they tried to make with that. But TCG, OCG, sometimes they hit or miss with these names. Just got to put that out there. Now, in terms of hit or miss, let's talk about the Enneacraft, the next wave of archetype of monsters. Now, these monsters are also pendulums with flip effects. You heard me right. Pendulum monsters that have flip effects. And for the sanctity of my small pea brain, because I am not about to sit here and try to pronounce every one of their names. Some of them have the Greek alphabet letters next to them. You know, alpha, beta, gamma. I will be calling them that. They have a pronunciation of their own name, and in typical YG organization fashion, they're gonna have what this card's name means at the bottom. You can read that because I ain't reading that, and I'm not going to read more than what I need to read myself because I don't want to extend this video any more longer than most people's extension spans will be. So, in that term, if you want to properly pronounce this card's name, you can go right ahead, and I'll leave a link to it in the description box below so that you can pronounce it correctly. But I just want everybody to know, at times, I cannot sit here and try to pronounce every name in the world of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because, sorry, it is, sometimes those names are just very hard to pronounce. But I will just try to simplify it as best as I can so that even my pea brain and probably some other people's pea brains can also understand that. I'm not saying everybody's a pea brain, but hey, sometimes we just have to accept that we can't just sit here and read everything properly and be like, yeah, because right. Nope, can't do that all the time. Alright, so let's start off with the first monster, and this is Enneacraft Alpha. It is a level 1 Earth attribute machine pendulum flip monster, rocking 100 attack and 1000 defense with a pendulum scale of 0. Pendulum effect. You can only use the second pendulum effect of this card's name once per turn. Each time a monster is flipped face up, you can add one sequential counter to this card. You can pay 900 life points to reveal 3 Enneacraft cards from your deck to your opponent. From your deck. Then, your opponent randomly picks one card and adds it to the hand, while the others are shuffled back into your deck. Its monster effects. First effect, you reveal this card from your hand to special summon one monster from your hand in face down defense position. You cannot special summon for the rest of the turn after activating this effect, except for face down defense position monsters. If your opponent activates a monster effect in hand, quick effect, you can switch this set card to face up defense position, then add one Enneacraft card from your deck to your hand. The third effect is that if this card is split face up, you can destroy one monster your opponent controls. The second is Enneacraft Beta. This is also a level 1 Earth attribute pendulum flip monster with 100 attack, 1000 defense, and a pendulum scale of 0. Its ability is Pretty much the same thing as the first one, so I'm not going to read through that. It's monster effects. If you can reveal this card in your hand to then such a summon one monster in face up defense position, you cannot such summon for the rest of the. Okay, so they have a lot of repeated effects as well. What is second effect? When this monster when your opponent activates a card or an effect that includes adding cards from your deck to your hand. Quick effect: you can change this set card to face up defense position, then add one Enneacraft card from your deck to your hand. And then if this card is flipped face up, banish one random card from your opponent's hand until the end phase. Okay. Um. Oh, I don't know what the F symbol is in Greek. Theta? I want to say it's Theta. Okay, well, it's Theta. Enneacraft Theta. Level 1 Earth Attribute Machine Type Pendulum Flip Monster. Rocking the same stats as the previous two. Rocking the same abilities for its pendulum effects as the first two. Its unique ability is... Okay, when your opponent activates a card or an effect and that includes such summoning a monster or monster's quick effect, you can change this set card to face up defense position to add one Enneacraft card from your deck to your hand. If this card is flipped face up, negate the activation of one effect monster your opponent controls until the end of the turn. Next is, oh, you've got to be kidding me. Are you serious? Omega? Okay, Enneacraft Omega. Same stats, 1,100 attack, 1,000 defense, pendulum scale of 0. Um, flip this, flip that. Reveal this card. Okay, when your opponent activates a card effect in the graveyard or banish, you can set this card face up defense position and then change this card set card into face up defense position and then add one Enneacraft card from your deck to your hand. If this card is flipped face up, shuffle 3 cards from your opponent's graveyard and or banish into the deck. Then we have I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not pronouncing that. Enneacraft, Azia, level 9 light attribute machine type pendulum flip monster, 3k attack, 2500 defense. So this is one of their boss monsters. Each time a okay, that's a fact. Okay, so the second effect is different. At the end of the battle phase, if you have an Enneacraft card in the other pendulum zone, you can target one monster your opponent controls with lower attack than this card and then destroy it. Monster effects. You can reveal this card in your hand to special summon one monster. Okay, so typical ability there. If your opponent activates a card or an effect in response to the activation of one of your cards or effects, you can change this card to face up defense position and then return up to 3 cards on the field to the hand. Each time cards are added from your opponent's hand from their hand through their card effects while you control this face up card, inflict 900 points of damage to your opponent. Enneacraft Astari, level 9 light attribute pendulum effect flip monster, DK attack, 2500 defense, pendulum scale of 0. At the end of the battle phase, if you have an Enneacraft card in your other pendulum zone, you can target one monster your opponent controls with lower attack than this card and destroy it. Okay. Same abilities to set it onto the field and all of that. Okay, its second effect is that when your opponent activates a card or an effect that targets cards you control, you can change this set card to face up defense position and negate that effect. Then you can banish one random card from your opponent's hand face down. When your opponent cannot target cards on the field or in the graveyard with card effects while this card is face up on the field. Alright, and now the star player of the show. This is Enneacraft Atori. Level 9 light attribute machine type pendulum flip monster with 3k attack, 2500 defense, pendulum scale of 0. Each time a monster... Okay, that's the token effect. At the end of the battle phase, if an Enneacraft card in your other pendulum zone, you can target one monster your opponent controls. It's using with the lowest attack and lower attack than this card and then destroy it. Same reveal effect, the special summon. When your opponent activates a card effect on the field during your turn, quick effect, you can change this card to face up defense position. Negate the activation if you do destroy that card. If this card flip face up, change all monsters your opponent controls to face down defense position. Their battle phases cannot be changed. We have Enneacraft Archin, level 9 light attribute machine type pendulum effect monster, 3,000 attack, 2,500 defense. Um, at the end of the battle phase, if an Enneacraft card is in your other pendulum zone, you can target one monster your opponent controls with lower attack than this card and destroys it. Um, reveal 3 cards from your hand. Reveal this card from your hand, special summon effect. If your opponent activates a card or an effect that would destroy the cards on your side of the field, quick effect, you can change this set card to face a defense position. And monsters and Enneacraft spells you control cannot be destroyed by card effects for the rest of this turn. Each time a monster is sent to your opponent's graveyard while this card is flipped face up, uh, inflict 900 points of damage to them. The field spell. This is Innopolis, the sequential city. This card's name is always treated as an Enneacraft card. You can use each of the following text of this card's name once per turn each. You can target any number of Enneacraft pendulum monsters you control and return them to the hand. If an Enneacraft pendulum monster you control is flipped face up during the main phase, you can return to the hand or place in your pendulum. You can return it to your hand or place in your pendulum zone. One of them. Once returned during the end phase, return all sequential counters from cards you control. Remove all sequential sequential counters from cards you control, and if you do, inflict 900 points of damage to your opponent for each one. Then there is the spell card Enneacraft Release. It's a normal spell. You can activate one card, this card's name per turn. Place one Enneacraft pendulum monster from your deck into your pendulum zone. If this card is in your graveyard except during the turn it was sent there, you can banish this card to add one face-up Enneacraft monster from your extra deck to your hand. Reprints in this set are Pot of Forbidden, Spirit of the Fallen Wind, Pinpoint Landing, Daruma Karma Cannon. Okay, I have a lot of things to say about this archetype. First off, while they're pendulum monsters, none of them have a pendulum scale of 10. Majority of them are earth to light attribute. Thankfully, they're all machine. They all have the ability to special summon themselves when effects are activated by simply setting themselves face down. When card effects are activated, you're able to flip them face up and then activate their corresponding abilities when they are flipped face up. One of the beneficial things that I see about these pendulum monsters is that, yes, while some of their lower level monsters only rock 100 attack, 1k defense, these bigger variants of them definitely know how to show up and show out. I like that many of them have the ability to banish other cards that are on destroy cards with attack stats lower than them, to give a bit of protection. There's a lot of negation, a lot of removal, a lot of spot removal, a lot of just here and there abilities, which is pretty solid. While having literally 1, 2, 3 variations of very high stated monsters, which each of them very, very good at their abilities and at their setups. I really honestly can't tell you where I really stand on this, because I think honestly for a pendulum based archetype that's flip summoning, Pot of Forbidden is definitely one monster I did not expect them to want to play around with. But that makes me question in, later support, in the next core set after this set is released, will we see a level 10 pendulum scale to try to help out with summoning a lot of these monsters? Or are they just going to rely on being able to, reveal this set of flip monster on the field and then keep going. Because I think with Spirit of the Wind, of the Fairy Wind, is actually a pretty good card herself, because she's able to flip things face up and put things face down. Bit of the whole, Prediction Princess stuff there. Actually, would Prediction Princess work well with this archetype? No, because you know what it is? Even though, like, the scales, the levels and stuff would be set up, it's the pendulum scales that would be the problem. How do you, correspond that? I know they're able to blow each other up or remove each other and then, try to play others from the hand. But I'd still, for a pendulum based archetype, at least make a scale worth being able to summon the other ones, even if you're not going to use their flip effect to do the summoning. It's a lot of good potential here, and it's a lot of unseen potential as well. And I think a lot of people would agree with me that yes, let's see what more support will be given to really give this archetype anything. If anything, look, you have a combination of earth machines and light machines, so play around with whatever combination of cyber dragon or machina that you would like to, just to keep that abrupt. Living removal is definitely going to be spotted in here just for OTK potential. Just tons of machine support as well that can easily give a big benefit to it. Also, just to, like I said earlier in the video, trying to pronounce these monsters' names. Let's see if the TCG will simplify them upon its release, so that way we can have a better scaling of that. Other than that, like I said, I'm going to give this maybe a B in terms of the archetype lineup and everything. It's simply just really good with the lineup that it has. I would like to see maybe, like I said, an improvement on at least one pendulum monster with a decent pendulum scale. Other than that, pretty simple, pretty solid, pretty basic, but yet so unique in taking both pendulum and taking the pendulum style, but then also able to sit here and take the flip mechanic and try to do something with it, because we've seen a lot of flip mechanics and flip stuff run around Yu-Gi-Oh for the last 25 years. Flip monsters that started off in the game, the Pac-Man stuff with the ancient Egypt base, no, with the Egyptian based creatures, like the Guardian Sphinx, the um, Swarm of Locusts, Swarm of Scarabs, moving into, you know, Shaddolls with their flip abilities. I'm trying to think, was there anything else that came out with flip effects? Oh, the Yerms had flip effects too. And they were pretty, solidified in that situation. Then we had, Shaddol playing around. We had Ghost Trick. Oh, we had Ghost Trick before we had Shaddol. Then we had, right, so Trick, then Shaddol, then going into Gimme Ghoul, Prediction Princess, then Gimme Ghoul, and now here we go, with Enneacraft. So a lot of things that need to be seen, and I want to see what people will do with it as an overall lineup. And I'm sure many of you are saying, hey, look, this video here, this video there. So let me know what you think of Enneacraft in its lineup of cards in the comment section below. I know this is going to be a long video, so I do apologize, but trying to get through these names, trying to get through these abilities can be very difficult. Thank you guys so much for watching, though. I do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, as it helps out tremendously. Hit notification bell, be informed when I upload content. Socials are in the description box below, and I'll have a link to this so you guys can see the information there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and HPJ signing out. Take care.